Hi Verse, it's me the Angel Man here today to give you guys another video. Welcome back Verse to another reaction video, and I really wanted to talk about this one because this is Star Wars. I am a huge fan of Star Wars and I love Star Wars movies, and I want to say some of the shows before Disney ended up buying the rights to Star Wars. In my personal opinion, I feel like Star Wars has been struggling a lot, just as how Marvel is struggling, and I say that just because of the fact that Disney, I don't know what's going on with them. They've been making some very odd choices when it comes down to some of the rights of these shows and just whatever property it seems that they own. The Star Wars trilogy that they made, you know, it was so bad. I mean, there were some good things about it, sure, but it was bad, especially the last one. I was like, what were you guys doing on that one? And then when it comes down to their shows, you know, there are a lot of hit and misses. You know, there are some shows that you're like, hey, that wasn't bad, and then there's some shows where you're just like, why? Like, why did you do that in there? Why was this happening? I don't understand. Another thing that I seem to notice when it comes down to Disney is that whenever fans seem to call them out for them doing such a big error that you guys should have known when writing the script, that they seem to keep making more projects in order to fix the issue. And I'm just like, why are you making projects focusing on that? Like, if you messed up, you should have used that opportunity to have given a complete story. You don't hear criticism and then make another project trying to fix the criticism. Like, you messed up, own it. Move on. So now, because of that, we're getting Andor. I'm going to assume that Andor is going to take place right before Rogue One. And Andor is such an odd choice for a Star Wars show, I assume. Maybe a movie? I'm not really sure. Yeah, when I heard that Andor was going to become a thing a little while ago, I was kind of like, why? Like, what is so interesting about Andor? I don't understand. I have more to say, but I'm going to do it after I get into the reaction, of course. So with that said, though, Verse, let's get to it. Here we go. Let's see what Disney's doing with Andor. Is that an AK-47?
To steal from the Empire? To just walk in like you belong? They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house. Cassian Andor.
No shit.
The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this.
Visually it looks good. I'll give it that.
To something real. I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
Not surprised he's back.
There's fermenting out there, son. Pockets of fermenting. You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief? You're slipping. I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
Okay.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what revolution looks like.
Huh. Okay. Oh, is that okay? It's a series. Okay, so Verse, let's talk about it, shall we? So, Andor. My thoughts, Verse, on Andor. I'm kind of iffy about it. I don't know how to feel about it really. Now, visually, it looks very good. It looks very stunning. You know, I like some of the background that I see. Action looks like it's very spot on, of course. You know, that's the biggest thing people love about Star Wars or Marvel or anything like that that Disney has now because of the action. But when it comes down to storytelling, that's really where they struggle. I don't know why a lot of people don't seem to know that. In my opinion, these stories are so out of place and sometimes they're not really investing. Here, it seems like they're really trying to make up for Rogue One because one of the biggest complaints about Rogue One was the fact that everything felt kind of safe. You didn't really get to know much about the characters. You didn't really get to know a lot about their backstory or what they went through. Basically, why should we care about them? And in the end, when they died, I mean, when they all died in Rogue One, you know, you were kind of like, whoa, they did that. But it didn't really have that big of an impact because you just didn't really care about them other than the fact that, okay, there's this group of the Resistance. They're coming together. They're trying to do a mission where it could help infiltrate the Death Star and they have to get these plans and in the end they all die. You know, like pretty straightforward. But when it comes down to some of the characters, especially when they died, you just didn't really care. You just didn't really care that much. To the movie itself of Rogue One, if I'm being honest, it was a mess. For those of you that don't know, Rogue One went through extensive reshoots. It was getting reshooted back and forth, and when you watch the movie, you can definitely tell. There are some things that they put in the trailers that weren't in the movies, and then when you were watching the movie, there were some things where you were like, wait, you were talking about this thing, but it's like we skipped something and then we went on to another scene. You can tell some things even felt out of place in Rogue One. Like they were just trying to get it over with. So yeah, like Rogue One just really felt choppy, it really did. And honestly, even if they were to give some characterizations, the characters in Rogue One just didn't really seem like it was that big of a deal in my opinion. I didn't really care. That's the problem when another thing with Star Wars too, is that they're bringing in new characters where you're like, okay, it seems like they have potential, but then the next thing you know, when it comes down to storytelling wise, it's so disappointing because you can't help but to be like, this character looked interesting, but I don't really care. And then there's a major plot that's happening, but instead of doing it with a main character, Obi-Wan, you're focusing on another character, and you're just like, why are you putting attention to these new characters when we're here to see the good old OG classic characters? Why are you putting so focus on these new ones instead of the old ones that are here? My biggest disappointment was with Obi-Wan. You know, that show, it's a lot of hit and miss for people, right? You either love it or you don't. Me personally, I know it's gonna be predictable, like, oh yeah, of course you hate it. I'm like, no, I hate it because I have my reasons for it. I don't like Obi-Wan because, for one, Obi-Wan's one of my favorite characters when it comes down to Star Wars. And I was really happy to see him get a story and for him to find out how he perhaps goes and learns about Darth Vader, if he maybe has a conversation with him, or if he runs into him, or just something like that. Like, what happened after episode 3? That's what I wanted to know. And when it came down to the identity of who Darth Vader was, I just hated the fact that Obi-Wan found out from some other character that just got here instead of Obi-Wan finding out for himself. I don't know. That's just me. And then even just some of the things that they were making Darth Vader do and say in Obi-Wan, I was like, no. I was like, Darth Vader would never say that. Darth Vader wouldn't do that. Darth Vader is one of the most iconic villains of all time, and what makes him so iconic is how ruthless he is. And you're telling me that he's gonna say,
I forgive you.
Fuck that. I do not believe that. No way. You cannot convince me that Darth Vader will ever say that. Okay? No way. So when I heard that line, I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing, right? Like, Obi-Wan was such a disappointment for me. Like, it had its moments, of course. Like, there were some things I liked about it, but there were just some things about Obi-Wan where I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, I don't understand. Why do you want to make a character about Obi-Wan if you're not focusing on the main point of the story and you're the ones writing it? And now when it comes down to Andor, it's gonna make some Game of Thrones type of feel, you know what I mean? It seems like there's a lot of political talk here and a lot of like mature settings and a lot of conversations about how to deal with government and stuff like that. That's what I see from Andor. That's what it looks like to me. Like they're trying to give a more serious take, you know what I mean? In a way of making up for Rogue One. And because this is clearly from the same creators of Rogue One, you can definitely tell they're trying to make up for their mistake. But I just don't feel excited for it. I don't know. It feels kind of random when you think about it. If you're gonna make Star Wars episodes of certain characters, maybe from a certain storyline after an episode, like it has to really be like, whoa, like what? Like if you were to do something with Mace Windu, right? Or General Grievous or something like that. If you were to make shows about characters like that or something, that would be like, oh, I want to watch this. But when you do something like Andor, you're kind of like, I don't care. You're like, why Andor? Like, that's such an odd choice. Why would you do Andor? No one really cares about Rogue One compared to all the other Star Wars projects that are out there. Rogue One it was kind of weak when you think about it. You know, it had its moments, but it was weak, of course. But yeah, that's just me verse. I don't know how you guys will take it. Maybe you'll disagree. You know, it's Star Wars, so you know, Star Wars is kind of like a hit and miss for a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are liking the direction that Disney's taking it, and there are a lot of people who clearly hate the direction that Disney's taking it because it's just so all over the place. They got their animated shows, but that's animated, you know, so of course they're always going to be good. They're always going to have their moments and stuff. But here for the real life adaptation, I'm just not feeling a lot of it, you know what I mean? And I feel bad about that, but I'm just kind of like, Disney, you really need to get these stories in order. And I don't like who's in charge of Star Wars right now. I do not like she's been making so many crappy decisions. I do not care if you're a fan of Star Wars, that lady who's in charge. If you're not doing a good job, why should I care? You know what I mean? Like, why should I care? But yeah, that's just me. I don't know. As soon as I saw Andor, and I was like, oh boy, I was like, here we go. I don't know how people will react to this video, but yeah, I'm just gonna be shitting on it because I just don't care for Andor. It's just such an odd choice. And right now, whenever a Star Wars project is released, I'm not really hyped up anymore. Really, like, they've just been kind of disappointing. I know some people like them, and if you do, that's fine. But yeah, they've just been disappointing in my opinion. I just haven't really been wanting to be like, oh my god, Star Wars like I used to be. Now I'm just kind of like, oh, okay, well, let's see what they're gonna do now. Oh, they're doing that one. Yeah, knowing that they're gonna mess it up. It's kind of that feeling. You can't help it. But yeah, first, that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Let me know. I'd be happy to hear. So with that said, though, first, if you guys like what you saw, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification for more content as always. Look forward to the next video. With that said, though, first, have an awesome day. And yeah, let's just see what else comes next, huh? Later, verse.